Hey guys, on TikTok last night, so I'm across all of the platforms. I'm across, guys, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Blogger. Also, the podcast. So, myself a full-time job. The people with disabilities themselves, the residents, because I got thrown into one that was like my first one was very chill, very relaxed, but this one, guys, I actually enjoy having the routine of this one. But this is what got me thinking. So I'm doing up a chart of my fridge, my freezer, my pantry, and I was thinking, okay, well, could you also do them for other things? So your washing machine, your dryer, hanging out. Do you need pictures of how to use the coffee machine? If you've got a chores list, some cell houses do. Do we do that as well? So then, guys, I said something offhand about organisation, saying a lot of cell houses have got guys, I am very, very fatigued. Some cell houses have got policies, procedures, they've got lockdown policies, they've got COVID procedures, they've got procedures for running, behaviours of concern, difficult and challenging behaviour, keeping people to routine, choice and control. But then I was sorry, guys, saying that if people, so it just got me thinking. The gas leak in Sydney got me thinking, and I was like, hang on. If someone was to needing to leave a home suddenly, they were a mobility aid user, couldn't leave the house safely by themselves. Mobility aids, cognitive differences, epilepsy. Do you have a procedure in place for evacuations? Do you practice them regularly? So, do you know where the battery packs are for wheelchairs? Can the person use a manual wheelchair? So I said the scenario of imagine that the fireys, the cops, or the ambos have knocked on the door, said that there's a gas leak or whatever, giving you a chance to get out. Would you be running around trying to pack several different bags, different foods, different feeding tubes? So do you have like a day bag or a go bag ready to go as well? It was a really interesting one. And so for the support coordinators and support workers who want to use my content, YouTube perfectly fine. Just acknowledgement. A new rule for the channel that if you're not a subscriber and you want to use it, subscribe. Because I realised when I created the channel, there wasn't actually a lot of resources for support workers, like basic explaining the difference between community engagement and community participation, the difference between a support worker and a PA, the difference between a carer and a support worker, the difference between formal supports and the difference between informal supports. So I started the YouTube channel not knowing where it'd end up, because we started it as a blog about Shadowhunters, I think. Shadowhunters, a TV show, comparing the TV show and the books. Didn't really take it off, but when we started doing, like, comparing all of the different neurodiversities in the books and how they are portrayed, the blog took off. Then we started doing, like, our own YouTube content. Then I started the second channel, then I started the podcast. And I now have a oh god, I need to put some Vaseline down there. Partner in crime for the podcast as well. Guys, the other one is that we're revisiting is professionalism in support as well. So what does that look like with your dress code, your grooming, your driving safely, you're being organised? And guys, some support workers, you guys can't get organised. You can't have packed lunches. So how are you minimising the cost with the crisis of living as well? So guys, I know over on TikTok I did some other topics around just routines and having routines written down. Because one thing that we do in this household is like once everyone's home and fed and showered of an afternoon, well, not showered, you know where I'm going. We do like an afternoon muster. So, where is everyone? Anything that needs to be attended to urgently? Afternoon teas. If I don't go up, someone generally comes down to me and checks in. If there's bills I need to pay, I'm able to pay it. Yeah, so it is really great to do it as well. Then we hand over receipts. So if we spend any money that day, it goes in our spending log. If we've had anyone in the house, and one thing that like I am starting to question is the other agencies in the house, because one of the other housemates is allowed to have her agency in the house. So I'm starting to question why as well. So guys, I will also be going live Sunday afternoon, 1:00 as well. So, guys, I see no one's watching. So, guys, I've got to go up and collect my washing, hand over some receipts. I've unpacked my groceries, but I've got to think about what I want for dinner. It's also state of origin in my part of the world. And, guys, I'm being much more disciplined about being offline as well. And guys, this is something that just took me by surprise, and we're going to get a direct debit set up or an accountant to handle this one. Is that people have been sending my electricity bill through. I pay it on the day it's due, but there was one that I just slipped my mind. It wasn't paid. We checked, fair enough, I paid it. But now the house is like, oh, you've got to pay the late fees and this and that and everything else. They went through the books. The others are affected with bills not being processed, things being passed on. So, guys, check who is controlling your accounts in the cell house. So, things like your electricity, your water, your rates. It's something that carers should really, really be aware of, and parents and trustees as well. I know a lot of the times they're just automatically taken out of the bank account. The cell house has full control over your money. But we saw that as a big red flag that we've seen, like, public trust is so overfunded. They don't have their oversight as well. So, yeah. So, guys, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Deb and I are going to do life end documents and documents to have if you have a disability. So things like your will, what to include in your will. I never thought about including electronic passwords, or who gets to nuke it. Then, like, who's getting your technology if it becomes vintage? Who is getting the jewelry? Like, I've got a substantial amount of liquid assets, so they're going to get split between basically my two sisters' progenies as well. So, guys, really interesting things to think about as well. And, guys, hopefully you guys will join me Sunday afternoon for the lives, but I know there's a lot of lives at the moment. A lot of people more concentrating on the end of financial year as well, and concentrating on sick children. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I know some of you guys watch it after the fact. Best way to support the channel is I do have the Patreon as well. If you could chuck me a couple bucks that way, have the ideal person who could come on board as an editor and producer, but can't pay people in exposure this day and age. So, guys, I've rambled on long enough. I'll see you guys on Sunday. So, I've got a whole heap of editing to do.